Welcome back to Behind the Box. Today, we're going to run through our weekend at Airecon 2018. This was about 2 weeks ago in Harrogate. We wanted to record this about 2 weeks ago when we got home, but unfortunately, we both got really sick with the flu and have actually just now started to recover. So we want to record this. Now, when we did our top 10 games of all time video, I said this will probably be our longest video. I think this one will have it beat, so grab yourself a cup of tea.
A proper brew.
This is Yorkshire tea made in Harrogate, which is why it's relevant. Lindsay was very excited about showing you the box.
Is also my favourite tea.
It is the best tea. But buckle in, because we're going to go through everything, all 3 days, and we've got a list of stuff in front of us. So if you see us looking down again, it's because we don't want to miss anything. So we'll kick it off with the first game that we played on the Friday. We went all 3 days, was Azul.
That was fun. I've been looking forward to playing Azul for a while. It was one of the games that they had set up. They had like a person there that would teach you the game.
Yeah.
And that was really neat. We did actually have the benefit of a friend who met us there who knew how to play the game, and he whooped our butts.
So we've not played it before, and yeah, our friend has played it a few times. Destroyed us. He knew what he was doing. He knew how to maximize his points early on, whereas it took us a couple of rounds to realize how to actually score big points. So you did pretty well. You came second. It was quite close between the two of you. But yeah, it was a great game. I came dead last. It wasn't very good. After we did Azul, we went over to the big suite, the main hall, where Rodney Smith of Watch It Played, he was the special guest at the event. He was he was showing off, teaching a game. Number 9, he was doing it as a mega game.
Yeah.
So this was where there was about 10 tables of 4 people or so around about there playing number 9. He would draw the cards and everyone would draw the appropriate number. We've not played number 9 before. So much fun.
Yeah. Oh, I loved it.
Really, yeah.
Really smart game. There's not a lot to it, but
yeah,
there's a lot of thoughts that go through your mind.
It's one of those perfect games for being really simple but deep. And we had a great time. We actually got to meet Rodney afterwards. Mark, the organizer of the event, introduced us. He told Rodney about our YouTube channel. We ended up chatting with him quite a bit, and throughout the weekend we kept seeing him and chatting with him. Super nice guy. Not just because he's Canadian, which is like the stereotype, but he was so friendly. And we actually spoke to him about gaming solutions, the series that we do, and he gave us some really good ideas for a video that we want to do. So if you're watching this, Rodney, thank you very much for the suggestions. We can't wait to put that video together. But yeah, that was really cool. Really,
Number 9
fun.
was great. Really good.
Yeah.
Then we went back into the other hall that they had where people were demoing their games.
Their games,
yeah, and there were these folks there from the 4 Elements game. 2 guys that were sort of running this area, and we didn't really realize it, but we entered ourselves into a tournament.
Yep. Didn't know that was going to happen.
And we became some of the finalists, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But 4 Elements, if you're not familiar with it, is it takes place on a huge. You have to have quite a big table to play it. Big mat, big table, and you all have these different, I think, plastic.
Yeah, it's like 3D printed plastic discs.
Yeah,
and barriers.
Yeah. So you have this, well, they called it the Lord. You each have a Lord that you're protecting, and you each play as different elements, essentially. So there's water and air, fire and earth, was it?
Yeah.
And I had water, you had fire.
Yep.
Both times that we were playing. And you essentially have to try and defend your Lord. And then you have these offensive discs that you flick across the table to try and get to the other person's Lord. The idea being you want to send their Lord off the
Anything
table.
that goes off the mat is out of the game. So any barriers, any discs, and if your Lord goes off, you're out of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool.
It was fun. It was really great.
Cool. Excuse me. We really like dexterity games. And this was no exception. We had a great time playing it. We initially played it with some friends, and that was when the guy that was showing us how to play, and he was sort of refereeing it slightly, told us that the 2 people that come in first and second off this table will be in the grand final of the tournament. And I came first, you came second.
Yeah.
And then we got points to the final of it, where we didn't win. Neither of us won, unfortunately. We came pretty close. But we both were awarded these medallions, which are printed in the same way as the pieces of the game. So this actually looks like the water one.
Well, this is sort of this is shaped with the like the water, and then these swirls here are kind of like the shape of the air.
One. Yeah, the air one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. We're very excited because we've actually already signed up to play this at the UK Games Expo. They're going to be showing the game there as well. I had a great time playing that game. Not only because the game was really fun, but the guys that were demoing it were really friendly, really fun. They were just a great couple of guys.
Yeah, they were.
So it was really nice to play. And if you go into UK Games Expo, I'd recommend
definitely go and play.
Check out the game. Yeah.
And then we moved on to they had this upper floor where they constantly just had like giant Suro going on.
Yeah.
So instead of those tiles, the cardboard tiles, they've basically mimicked that with like big giant like carpet squares.
Yeah.
And so you act as the ship, like going around the board.
You're playing Suro, but you are the ship, and you have these the giant card piece you place down, and then you follow it, and obviously anyone else that is connected to it now, they follow the line as well. It's just Suro, if you're familiar with Suro.
It was fun. It was funny. It got a bit crowded at points because you're all like end up standing on the same stuff.
Oh yeah, it was really cool. I love that idea because it's so simple, so straightforward. My first move, I placed a piece down, went forward. My friend had already been before me, and he had gone forward as well. So on his next go, I'd only taken one turn. He placed a piece of carpet and killed both of us. He was like, "We're going down together," and I was like, "I'm out of the game instantly." You actually ended up winning by quite a big margin. The guy that came second really got stuck in a corner, and you had almost half the board left to play with. This is a theme you will see as we play. We forgot to mention it for number 9, but you won every game of number 9 we played.
I was like on a roll.
You were on fire.
Weekend.
That whole weekend. You lost only a couple of times. I only won like one game, and Lindsay won basically everything that we played, which actually leads us on to the next game, which is a game that I actually won, which was Dale of Merchants, which is a deck builder that's themed around animals with different abilities. It's cool. I like it. It was one of our friends. He brought his copy of the game because he really wanted to play it with us. It wasn't one that we had, played there with any design or anything like that. But yeah, it was fun. It was a nice time. It was just fun to sit down and play a game with some friends that we've not seen in a couple of months.
Yeah.
And it was nice to win. You weren't a fan because Lindsay doesn't like deck builders, but it was good. It wasn't very long, which is nice. It was a short deck builder, which is good.
More bearable. Then we went to the notorious pub quiz. We have heard things about how difficult this pub quiz is.
Yeah, well, we watched a video of last year's one, and I was probably too confident, I want to say, going into it.
It was super difficult. We went, just the two of us, and we sat down near the front because I just like to be able to see better and hear better. So we constantly were always at the front of this hall. And then it was like 5 other people or so.
5 or 6
joined us at this table, and we were on a team together for the pub quiz, and it was really fun because we instantly, you're just getting to know these people, you build a rapport with each other, and then you basically have friends for the rest of the weekend. So you're bumping into them, saying hi, checking on what games they've been playing. Yeah,
it was really cool. I loved that. I mean, that we'll get to our more final thoughts there, but that was a really cool part of the weekend, was when you meet people like that, you do just throughout the rest of the weekend, every time you see them, you stop, you have a little chat, what have you been playing? There was as well, a couple of the people that sat down with us were demoing a game, and when they found out that we were there as press, invited us over. They're like, come play the game if you want to do a review, if you want to have a chat with us. All that stuff. They were very sort of welcoming to that idea.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. And yeah, it was just really fun. We did awful at the pub quiz. We did really bad. We did not do well at all.
But they did have, like, this year, I think is the first time they've done it, where it's a touchy-feely round. So they'll have, like, a component from a game in a little baggie that you're feeling, and you're trying to figure out what is it, what game is it from.
You can't see what the component is, obviously.
Yeah, and you're supposed to pass it around the tables. It was a little difficult to organize that one because people were...
The execution was hard, I think, to do because, there were so many tables, so many people, and it was supposed to be, like, I think 30 seconds you get for the component to be on the table. It was a really cool round.
Oh, well, yeah.
And you got a couple right, and everyone was at the end like, whoa.
I got the castle right.
Castles and
Yeah, I got a castle.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was really, really enjoyable. But yeah, we did not do well. But it did not detract from my enjoyment of it.
It was still a good time. It's fun to just sit there with nice people and just talk. Yeah. It was good. Mm-hmm.
So that was day 1. Day 2 was a much busier day for us. The first thing that we did, because it opened earlier, so on day 2 you could get in from 9 o'clock, whereas day 1 it was from 1 in the afternoon through to the evening. And so we ended up fitting in a lot more. And on day 1, the exhibitor hall isn't open. So all of the exhibitor games you can't go and do anything with. Whereas day 2 you can. And so we did a lot of that. First thing we did was went and spoke to Dan Hughes. You might know him from, he's a Dice Tower contributor. He does a segment with his daughter Cora. And he's also the host of the This Game is Broken podcast. So we actually have met Dan a couple of times because we used to live in Huddersfield where he's based. So we went over and wanted to introduce ourselves as Behind the Box because I don't think we'd not met him since starting YouTube. And so we wanted to just have a quick chat with him. And he gave us some Huddersfield timeline promos, which actually does mean a lot to us because we love Huddersfield. It's a big part of our life. We lived there for like 8 years.
Yeah.
And
7.
Yeah, between 7 and 8. So we had a great time. We chatted with him just very briefly. He was about to start playing a game of Rising Sun, so we left him, but we did see him a few times then throughout the weekend, which was fun. But we went over to the exhibitor area and we spoke to Frank West. Now he's the designer and the owner of the City of Games that makes the City of Kings, and he was showing another game there called Verdoran Gardens, which is actually based in the world of the City of Kings. It's kind of like a King Domino style game.
Yeah.
Where you've got like a nice drafting system of these tiles and you're trying to connect different areas. So grass with grass, water with water, things like that. Really pleasant game. Really, really just light, enjoyable. It's something we love. We love King Domino.
Yeah.
For that, because it's such a nice light game. We don't want to play a really heavy game that takes a long time to set up. We can just get King Domino out. That is this game, just with a few twists and a few different things there. So yeah, that was really a really enjoyable game to play. And it was great to just sort of chat with Frank, because I speak to him a lot online. It was great to meet him in person and actually have this whole discussion with him about the games that he's been making. It's really cool.
And then after we played that Verdoran Gardens game, we got to sit down with his partner Sarah and play City of Kings. And we actually were sat with Ben from Unlucky Frog.
The podcast.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, he was a really nice guy.
Yeah,
very friendly.
He definitely was. Very talented at painting miniatures. Really, really talented.
Yeah.
But yeah, City of Kings was really cool. Because it is like a bit of exploration, because you're like revealing and uncovering these tiles in front of you, and you can go on these little quests. You went on a quest.
Yeah.
Where you're meant, there's like these resource, you know how sometimes they have resource cubes and stuff? Well, these were like actual
modeled like stone was a little stone and like coal's a little
and the
coal.
Fish were fish. Yeah, it was cool. So you went on a quest where you were meant to like help this lady in the woods like stack her firewood or something like that. Yeah. And so he actually had to take all the little firewood pieces, and it's
a little dexterity quest
that
test.
Was fun. I didn't
was
expect
really
that.
Cool. Yeah. No, I didn't either. That was a nice surprise, and it was fun to try and shoot the moon and do as many as possible. I did not do very well, but I hold the idea that it was not my fault, and instead it was the felt mat that was on the table.
No.
Yeah. We'll agree to disagree. But no, that was just, overall, the whole City of Games exhibition area, Frank, Sarah, they were fantastic. And we spoke to them quite a long time. We were talking to them for probably an hour or two. And then we went and watched Frank. He did a talk on world building and how he built the world of City of Games.
That was really interesting. Yeah.
Super, super interesting. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was one of my favorite individual aspects of going there. It was really cool.
He's a cool guy.
The next game we played was actually the game from the designers of from the night before that we met at the pub quiz, a game called Vote Me. Now, this is kind of like one of those judge games, you know, where somebody has to pitch an idea to everyone else at the table, and then after everyone's taken a turn, you all vote on who did the best job. We've got a game called Pitch Deck, which uses a similar idea where it's not blind. You don't put a card in random, like secretly. you actually have to pitch an idea. You're all playing as political parties, and you have to sort of offer your stance on a certain policy around a theme. So one of the ones we did, I've written it down here, was housing aquatic life. So you can interpret that however you want. So I might look at that and go, okay, well, merfolk now exist and they've started trying to be integrated into our society. So what is our party's stance on housing this aquatic life? Whereas you might view that as, we are going to become the aquatic life. We're going to move into the sea. So how do we house people underwater now? So yeah, you kind of have this pitch, and at the end, everyone votes on which policy they think is the best one. And it was a really fun idea, really cool game.
It's definitely our kind of game. Yeah, it was really neat. And they brought with them like a mat, like a game mat that sort of showed you the geography of this imaginary world. You know, where
it's like an imaginary continent, isn't
it? Yeah, and that's kind of neat because it kind of inspires you to work that into some of your explanations. So it might be that, well, this nation here, you know, they're the enemy, or they're our friends, or we've got to do this, and stories
kind of started to develop because you play several rounds, and it actually kind of focuses in. So you start by playing in the grand scheme of things. So you're like pitching, okay, how does this big nation of Eastus handle this situation? And then how does Westus handle this other policy? And then you get a little bit deeper, you go into the more city-based things. And when we first started playing and I saw this information on the map in front of me, my initial thought was, what's the point in that? It's not needed. But as we were playing and as we were talking to the designer, it started to become clear.
It's really helpful, I think.
Yeah, it becomes part of the game. You tell stories and you like you said, like you view the other colonies, these other communities as the enemy or as the ally. And so you work that into your pitch, which was, it was just really cool.
Yeah, it was neat. Cool. I really liked that.
I like that a lot.
And then we wanted to then go play a mega game of Karuba, but there was an issue that meant it just ended up being a mega game of number 9 again. So we just played number 9 again.
Yeah,
with Rodney.
Which was fine. Yeah, basically what happened was, I guess something went wrong with the transportation of getting all the games of Karuba to the convention, and so they weren't there in time for the scheduled event. So we played number 9 again. We played it with a father and his little girl, Abby. She was so cute.
Yeah.
And they were just really, again, it's that situation of, okay, we're just going to be placed with these strangers and have a great time chatting with them, getting to know them.
Yeah.
And again, Lindsay won number 9. Pretty much every game we played. Just won.
But Abby gave me a run for my money, though. She was pretty good. She surprised me.
I think they were trying to hustle us. Because afterwards, the dad was like, yeah, so we've been kind of playing number 9 all weekend. I was like, you. But yeah, they were really nice. It was just fun. It was just more number 9.
Yeah.
It was just fun. The next thing we did was we went actually to the Czech Games Edition section of the demo hall, where Paul Grogan of Gaming Rules was demoing games from CGE. So the first one we tried was Pictomania, which is the second edition of this game. And this is a really cool game. You basically got to draw something that you secretly know what it is, while also looking at what everyone else is drawing and trying to figure out what they are drawing.
You want to do it quickly.
Yeah, you want to be the quickest to do it, because the quicker you do it, the more points you get. That was a really fun game. Yeah. Really, really fun. I did shocking. Like, usually if I play a game, the first time I play it, I do okay. And that's sort of, I'm happy, I go into a game, that's right. This was not that at all. I did really atrocious, but again, you destroyed. We played again with, I think it was 3 people that we didn't know, so it was a 5-player game.
Yeah.
You won again, and it was just really, really cool.
That was fun. That was great. I would love to, have Pictomania join our collection. Then Paul pulled out a prototype for a game that will remain unnamed because I don't really know what they're going to end up calling it, to be honest.
We're not going to touch on any of the mechanics because they might all change.
Oh, yeah.
And he wouldn't tell us the name. I asked what the name of the game was, and he said that they don't really have a name for it and they don't want to give a name away because people then think that's the name.
People were calling it different things throughout the weekend. But anyway, so it's a game that's kind of like a mix between concept and codenames. So the idea being there's a person who has a word or something that they need everyone to guess, and they're only allowed to give clues in a certain way. It's neat. It's really neat. I don't want to go into too much detail because a lot of it can change, but it was so much fun, and I was really impressed. Like, I got to be the clue giver one time, and I gave one single clue, and you totally got it. It was great.
You did great. I did great too. That's what
you were pretty good too. You had to give a couple of clues though, didn't you?
I had to give 2, but I had a hard one. Mine was a difficult clue. Yours was one of the level 1 clues. Wow. Not to undermine it, you did very well, and I did very well to get it, but yeah, that was really fun. That was a really, really cool game. And that, again, we love, you've seen our stuff before, we talk about it. We love games with restrictions on communication, and this had that in a way that we love.
Yeah.
So, our battery's gonna die, so we should swap over, so we're gonna cut and come back. Okay, so we're back. After we did those 2 games, Paul actually mentioned to us that because we've played games now in the CGE demo zone, we got to enter ourselves into a giveaway. So because we played 2 games, we got 2 entries each. And then later on, just before we went to go play another mega game, Paul actually called me on the phone. And he was like, "Hi, is that Chris?" And I went, "Yeah." And he went, "It's Paul Grogan from Czech Games Edition. You've played some demos with us before. And you were entered into the giveaway. Just wanted to give you a call and let you know you've not won the game." And I went, "Thanks, Paul." Thanks for the call. And he went, "I'm just kidding." "Do you want it? Are you about? Can you come and collect the game?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, yeah." So we went over and we actually won Pulsar 2849.
Which is that?
It's sitting over there. Yeah. We've not played it yet. We do want to. I'm very excited to give it a try. I had the choice between that and Adrenaline. I asked Paul what his suggestion was, and he was like, honestly, they're both really good for different reasons. So he told us what each game was, gave us a bit of information, and I was like, okay, Pulsar I think sounds more interesting to me. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I never win things.
No, it was really neat. So that was cool.
That was really fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was cool. And then the next game we played, we actually went over and met up with some of the people from Board Game Exposure. Now, they had just started playing a game that I want to say was Mombasa. It's quite a heavy, long game. Mm-hmm. And so we were a bit too late to sort of join in with them. But Nick Welford from Board Deck and Dice, he brought Baron Park with him because he knew that we wanted to play that. And so he actually was like, well, sit next to us, hang out for a bit, and play Baron Park. So we played, just the 2 of us. We'd never played it before. And you destroyed me, as usual with this weekend. But yeah, we really enjoyed it. That was our type of game. We like Couch Garden, we like Patchwork.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
Yeah, Baron Park's great. I think I can see that working much better with more people. Like Cottage Garden, I find works better with just a smaller group of people.
Yeah.
But I think Baron Park could probably work with more people.
I think that would, yeah, I think you're right.
I think, yeah. So, yeah, it was great to play that. I liked it a lot. And then we went over to the big hall and played Mega Karuba. Actually played Mega Karuba this time.
They swapped. So this was supposed to be number 9, but now it became Karuba.
Yeah, so Rodney taught us all that, and that was really cool because it's a game where you've got all these numbered tiles, and you lay them in this little map in front of you to try and guide your little explorers to the different temples or something that they need to go to get your
blue
points.
Has to go to blue, yellow to yellow.
Mm-hmm. And that was fun. I like it. I like it a lot.
That was really cool. That and number 9 and another game that we played, which we'll discuss in a minute, called Avenue. I like games like that. We've never really played a game that has that mechanic of everyone does the exact same thing at the exact same time, but the way people do it changes the outcome. You know, so I might put my tile at my number 7 in the top left. You might put it over to the right somewhere. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, our maps become completely different.
Even though, like, we had the same stuff to begin with.
That's just really cool. Yeah. That's such a cool idea.
It was neat.
And, we really enjoyed that. We actually spoke to Rodney again after we'd played Karuba, because when we played number 9 on day 1, on the Friday, we spoke to Rodney, we explained the gaming solutions, and we explained a idea that we had for an episode. And he said, well, Karuba, I think would fit that. Come back tomorrow and play Karuba. And we were like, okay, yeah, definitely. After Karuba, we approached him and were like, yeah, that's perfect as well. Do you have any other suggestions for any of the games like this? And he said, Avenue is a game that has that same sort of, everyone does the same action at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, we actually had a copy of Avenue in the play area where you can go and
the
sort
games
of rent
library.
in the games library. Yeah. And so we grabbed a copy of Avenue and we played it. It was us two and one of our friends.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really cool.
That was neat. So in Avenue, you're all working off of like the same kind of sheet of paper, and cards are being revealed that have different path shapes on them. And you use the path shapes to try and draw this path in front of you on your card to try and get you points and things. And that was a neat game. Really interesting, fun, light.
I liked it a lot. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a really nice, very quick, very simple, really, really fun. And right as we were getting towards the end of playing it, you actually noticed somebody that you wanted to talk to.
Yeah, I got a bit distracted towards the end of Avenue because I realized that we had sat ourselves right next to Kelly and Becky from Board Games in Bed podcast, and they were just finishing up Whistle Stop. And so all my hands started sweating. I was getting really nervous, but I knew I wanted to go talk to them. So, just as they were packing up and stuff, I ran round and introduced myself and asked them, if you ever want to play a game this weekend, we're around. And, I said, we're about to lose this game. So I went, after introducing ourselves and saying hi, I went back and then totally lost at Avenue.
Yeah, this was actually one of the only games that you came completely dead last in.
Yeah.
I think I lost by 1 point. Not relevant to the story.
No.
But they, just as we were finishing, was it Becky came over?
Yeah.
And she was like, hey, so there's a group here that are about to start playing Avalon. If you want to join us, we'd have 10 people then. And we love Avalon. We've not played it in about a year or so. But it's one of our most played games of all time. And so we joined in with what was effectively us two, one person we knew, and then 7 strangers to us. And they were all so friendly and welcoming. And
we all had your badge is like a name tag, on your lanyard. And so we all kind of took those off and put them in front of us so we knew each other's names and we could refer to each other throughout the game. That was really handy. I sat next to Nathan, who was a Hufflepuff, so it was great to meet another Hufflepuff, and we used that, to...
Well, he actually, I thought you were evil, because he was trying to figure out who to take, and you were like, well, take me, I'm also a Hufflepuff, and he was like, okay, and I was like, they're both bad. That's how she's got in. I was wrong, but yeah, that was just cool. It was just a fun little extra moment that happened just because of him wearing a Hufflepuff skirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all really friendly. We played 2 games of Avalon. The bad guys won the first one, which neither of us were bad the whole time, were we?
I was always good.
I was always good.
Of course, I'm always good.
Yeah. The bad guys won the first one. The second one, we won as the good guys. And it was actually a really good game. Really, really good game. I'm not going to go into all the details of it because it obviously takes a long time to explain every step of an Avalon game. But basically, I figured out who the bad guys were and played off like I was Merlin really well. That they actually then thought it was me, but they ended up killing you.
No, they ended up killing me. They thought I was Merlin.
They thought I was too obviously Merlin.
Yeah.
And so,
but then it was Ben actually.
It was this guy Ben. Yeah, he wound up being Merlin. But yeah, that was how we ended our night on day 2, which it was a great day. We didn't plan on staying that late. Yeah,
we were there like they were closing as we left.
But on the Sunday, which was the final day, the event hall actually opens up an hour early if you're press. So you can come in, you can talk to the exhibitors, you can get some B-roll footage, which was what we were planning on doing. So we got there just after 9. Excuse me, it was supposed to open at 10. And initially, we just wanted to just have a quick walk through the exhibit hall when it was much clearer and record and take photographs of all of the stuff that was in there. But Bez from Stuff by Bez approached us. Because she hadn't spoken to us that weekend.
Yeah.
And she was like, hey, I just wanted to come over and have a chat. And so we ended up chatting with Bez for almost the whole hour before it opened.
It was nice, though.
Oh, it was great.
She showed us, she has like this wall of cats So basically, all weekend, she's been inviting people to draw on these little like blank playing cards. Draw a cat, and then that goes on the wall. So it was this whole wall of just like cat pictures, and so we went over. We each drew a cat.
It was the only way. It was so pleasant.
Yeah,
it's such a nice idea. Beth spoke to us about the idea behind it and why she was doing it, and ultimately it came down to just connecting people, which is such a nice thing. And connecting people through silly cat drawings is, it was so refreshing almost to experience something like that. And what really impressed me about Bez was every person we walked by, she knew who they were, she knew their name, she knew what they were from, where they were from, and was like, hey, there's this person, hey, there's this person, and was like telling me like little fun facts, like, oh, this person's from Glasgow, this person's from, and it says a lot, I think, about her character and who she is. And it was really just a lovely experience getting to meet her. And the cat wall was so nice and so fun, and we drew cats. Now my cat turned way more demonic than I ever intended, in that I didn't intend for it at all to be demonic. But I gave it red eyes. I wanted to give it a red tongue. So you only get a black and a red, like, sort of felt tip pen. Mm-hmm. And so I did the outline in black, and I was like, oh, I'll do a tongue. But it just looked like blood running out of its mouth. And I was like, right, well, I'll colour its eyes in, add a bit of colour, not thinking how that's going to look. And it looked evil. And the ears, I accidentally did, they ended up looking like horns.
Well, they're kind of like bobcat ears. Yeah. You know, they like flick back.
It did not look like a bobcat. It just looked like an evil demon cat. Yours was really nice. Yours was just a nice sort of simplified. You said it was like a...
Well, it's just a set of eyes. Yeah, I just did like 2 cat eyes, and then I did a cat nose, and then you could kind of see like whiskers a little bit. But that was sort of it. I can't draw that well, so I went with my strengths. I can draw some eyes.
I feel like I should be able to draw, because art has been a big part of my adult life as far as like games design.
Yeah, you actually like took life drawing.
But I just couldn't do it. I've not drawn in so long, and so I think that really impacted. But Ben, who we'd met playing City of Kings, he had drawn one each day. That was a rule Bez has, was that you could draw 1 cat for each day. So he'd done 3 cats. They were awesome.
All 3 were good cats.
There were so many cats. We took a picture of a lot of them that we can probably show in now as we're talking, but there was some really impressive cats.
Yeah.
Just very really cool creative. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was really cool. Next thing we did was played an exhibitor game that you'd wanted to play kind of the whole weekend.
Yeah, there were these folks over in this area where they were like wearing these animal costumes, and the game looked really fun. Like our nephews, well, one of them's a little too he's a little too young like to get into this kind of stuff.
He's not old enough to know about games.
But our other nephew, he's starting to get into like dinosaurs and things like that. So I saw this game and I thought, oh yeah, that looks like something that he'd like. So yeah, I directed us over there and we sat down and we got to play Animal Ailments. And that was really fun. It was a card game where you draw 2 cards. One will be an animal and the other will be an ailment that they have. And so you have to kind of like charades. Yeah, mime this animal ailment. So you might get like gorilla. Yeah, and then clumsy, and so you have to be a clumsy gorilla, or like dizzy and skunk, and you have to be a dizzy skunk. And then to get further points, like there's like little extra things you can do down there, like merry-go-round and stuff like that. But that was like really hard. But yeah, it was just a nice, fun,
that was cool
game.
I liked it. It was again, it's one of those like, it's really simple, it's just pleasant. They talked to us, they talked about, they play it with kids, and kids really love it because they love being able to act out these animals. Yeah. But then they also play it with adults when they're drinking. And so you wind up with that sort of funny, everyone's had a few drinks, everyone's being silly animals, pounding the chest as gorillas and stuff. Which I could definitely see a lot of groups of people really just getting involved with that. And they were dressed in animal onesies, so it was a very striking display that they had. It was cool, and they were very friendly. Really liked them. The next thing we did, we wanted to play more games just from the library. We didn't really play many. We played Avenue, but then we also played on the final day Clank. And as we checked it out of the library, we actually bumped into the guy from the night before that played Avalon with us, called Ben. And so we're like, hey, if you're not doing anything, you want to play with us? Would you want to play Clank? And he was like, yeah, sure. He'd never played it. We've never played it. He absolutely destroyed us. Something just clicked. He was like, yeah, I'm Clank Master instantly. Knew what he was doing. And maybe he hustled us as well. It's possible.
Could have, yeah. Could have hustled us.
But no, he was a really nice guy. And it was a really fun game. Clank is a deck builder, which means typically Lindsay doesn't like that, but you actually came in, you're like, no, this was actually
it was
interesting.
I just had fun watching Ben just kick our
destroy us.
butts. Yeah, he was just rocking this game.
Yeah, he was.
He like took control. It was great.
I liked it a lot. I mean, I like card games, I like deck builders, but this added something new, like the board, and you've got kind of this objective of collecting artifacts and then getting out of the dungeon, and it's neat. I like games that add those twists to otherwise kind of already done ideas. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was neat.
Our battery just died again. Sorry. We'll just move on to the next thing. So we just discussed animal ailments.
Yeah.
The next thing that we did was we went to another talk called How to Teach Games, Top Tips for Teaching Games. This was with Rodney Smith from Watch It Played, Paul Grogan from Gaming Rules, Michael May from Two Can Play That Game, and Paul Marshall from the Skip the Rule YouTube channel. So they chatted for about an hour. I'll link actually, because Michael May from Two Can Play That Game recorded the whole session. So I'll link to that down below, as well as everything that we've talked about so far. But yeah, he put that together on his channel, so you can watch the whole talk. It was really informative. Very, very cool. Very nice to listen.
They all really know their stuff. I mean, they should. You know, they've been doing it for a while now. But yeah, it's interesting to hear from people who have a lot of experience teaching games.
Yeah,
get their insight.
How they do it. Yeah, that was really cool. And a lot of people got to ask questions, which was good as well, because it covered a lot of stuff that people otherwise wouldn't have thought about.
I really appreciated there was a portion towards the end of the talk where they actually talked about how to be a good learner as well, which is just as important as how to be a good teacher, but how to be a good learner. So that was neat.
Honestly, if you are the person in your group that teaches games, or if you play quite a lot of games with your friends and they teach you, still you should watch this video, because it is really informative. And like you said, even if you're someone that learns games, it teaches you how you can improve how you learn a game as well.
Yeah,
which was really, really cool.
Yeah.
That was pretty much everything. After we did that, we ended up having to leave to catch our train.
Because I was pretty much dying at that point.
Yeah, well, this was like the peak of your illness, and I just started getting sick on that Sunday. So, yeah, our Sunday was definitely our, like, drained day.
Yeah,
And, yeah, it takes a couple hours for us to get home, and we actually ended up, just a quick sort of side story, our journey home took about 5-6 hours. Because there was a huge protest on a train track, and so they ended up delaying all the trains heading the direction we needed to go. Plus, we ended up actually just slightly missing the train we were trying to catch. Because we were sick, I had to keep stopping because I couldn't breathe while walking. The cold air, the sharp air it was horrible.
It was really
But we got home in the end, and loved it.
Yeah, it was a wonderful weekend. I'm so glad that we did all 3 days, because we contemplated whether or not to just do, like, the Saturday.
There was a point you weren't sure about taking time off work for the Friday. Maybe we just go there Friday night so we can get up Saturday morning.
But
we did
I would definitely recommend doing all 3 days if you get a chance to do that at Airecon.
What was your favorite things about Airecon?
Ooh, well, I would say number one certainly is just the people there. I'm a bit of a shy person. I find it hard to, like, make friends with strangers, and, like, this reminded me of, like, being in kindergarten or something at recess, and it's like, you have a ball? I want to play ball. We're friends now, and we're, you know, like, it's never been so easy to just make friends. You know, we sat with some people and did a pub quiz, that first night, and they were friends of ours for, like, the rest of the weekend.
The whole weekend you keep catching up with them. What have you been playing? What have you been up to? You know, what would you recommend out of this list of stuff?
Yeah, we played Avalon with a bunch of people, and then kept bumping into them the rest of the weekend. Played a game with another one of the guys. I mean, it's just so easy to make friends, and you feel like you belong. You feel like you're included. You never feel lonely. As long as you're willing to open up to others and open up to that opportunity, you can have such a great time and never be lonely the whole weekend. It's such a great environment.
Yeah, exactly. If you go alone, you absolutely could do that. You could go on your own, and if you are feeling brave enough to approach people, then you will make friends. You will play loads of games. Because there's a really cool system they've got in place with balloons, where when you take a game, if you want, you can grab a balloon. If you put a black balloon, it means that we're looking for more people to come and join us, and this game takes less than 2 hours. So you get a bit of an indication. If you take a white balloon, same thing. If you want to come join us, feel free, approach us. We'll play a game with you. This game takes more than 2 hours, so just to be prepared. And then there's just little flags where it's just looking for players. You can just grab a flag, stick it down, and people can just approach you, or you can approach people and just say, "Are you still looking for people? You're looking for 2 people? How about, you know?" And yeah, people are just so welcoming, so warm, and I was so impressed by that. That was probably my favorite thing as well. But as a separate thing for me, I do a lot of our Twitter, Facebook, YouTube commenting. A lot of that is me that does that. And so getting to meet a lot of these people like Michael May and Paul Grogan that I talk to a lot online was so much fun. It was so nice to finally be able to go, "Hey, I'm Chris from Behind the Box." And they go, "Oh yeah, how you doing?" And you wind up having this chat. Like I said, we spoke to Frank West for between 1 to 2 hours about his game and the world he'd made and his passion for designing these games. And this is someone that I've communicated quite a lot with online. And it was just cool. It was just cool to have that connection with people that I already felt connected to.
Yeah. And everyone's really down to earth, and it's just so inviting, and you really feel like you belong.
Absolutely. Like, it was so crazy. Like, even just meeting Rodney Smith, you know, he's a huge channel.
Yeah.
And the whole weekend, he just kept approaching us and just catching up, you know, just what we've been doing, just chatting to us about our ideas for videos. And it's not expected in a way, which is strange, because that's how we would be. You know, if people approached us and were like, "Hey, we recognize you," we would be, I think, so flattered and welcoming and just like, "That's amazing." You know, and if we're free, we'll play games. And it was just a really great weekend. Yeah. It makes me very excited for the UK Games Expo as well, because I feel like it's going to be more of the same. Obviously, there's a bit more focus on selling games, but there's still playing stuff. We're going to be meeting people like Semi Co-op, that we really love their comic, and Up to 4 Players, we love their webcomic as well. And we're going to get to play some games with them and a roleplay game. So yeah, I just rambled a lot about that, but just very excited. And if you get a chance to go to Airecon, I would absolutely recommend you do it.
It doesn't matter how far you have to travel. We had folks from like the furthest places in Scotland that were there. We had folks from way down south that were there. Yeah. And it's definitely worth the journey. Oh my gosh.
And that was just out of the people we met. I'm sure there were people there from Australia, America. I mean, obviously Rodney was there from Canada. Yeah. You know, so yeah, I can't even begin to explain. This was our first convention like this, and it has just made me so excited for more, to do more of these things and to get involved and talk to people and play games. And it really just sort of, not that this was waning or disappearing, but it reignited that passion, that flame for board gaming and the board game community and the industry. Like, it was just a really great experience. And I think that's kind of all we need to say about it.
And we've got some great mugs.
We've got some amazing mugs, We've got some nice Airecon mugs.
To remember it by.
Cool medallions. You've got your press pass still.
Yep.
So, yeah. I fear that we've missed things off of the list, but I think we got everything. I think we got all we wanted. All the games that we played, all the people we met, we got a chance to talk to all these amazing people, these people that we talk to online a lot and we communicate with, and it's a pleasure.
Wonderful memories.
Absolutely.
Wonderful memories.
Yeah. Even getting the flu. Oh,
lights off.
Well, we'll end it there. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.
That was hell. And buckle in, because we're going to run through our whole weekend. If you see us looking down, it's because we're looking at a piece of paper with all of our information on that we need. Yeah? Okay, cool. Right. So that wasn't I wasn't like the start.
Oh, we're not starting now?
No. Now we'll start.
Oh, okay. Well, let me grab my proper brew again.